we come back to your guides, all righty? Just so you understand that there's always going to be a personal achievement. There's something that you're after, and it's not just who are my guides. It's I know that I've got people around me. What can I use that for? How can that be? What can we do with that? They really just want you to grow into who you're going to be. Now, healing is your art, and you will already know that. Okay, I can feel it coming out of your heart, and I can feel it pouring into your hands. And at this time of your life, it may very often be just spontaneous. Somebody will be talking to you or saying they've got a sick auntie, and you'll feel yourself firing up and going, what am I going to do with that, though? You know, I'll just try and send it anywhere, you know. So it's kind of an interesting thing, and it will wake you up in the middle of the night, and you'll get really hot and sweaty, and then you'll get really cold, and you're like, I'm not in menopause yet. What's going on here? And that's all this energy trying to find an outlet. So you're running the energy, you're doing that kind of connection. You just don't have a formatted way to put it out there just yet, okay? But it's where you're going. I think you know that. I don't think I'm telling you something you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So your question at this stage of your life would not be, not your question, your quest would be more about, do I turn this into a profession? If so, how do I do that? And how can I do that without people kicking me in the shins and calling me an idiot?
Yes.
And I know you will do that. So basically part of this man pushing behind you is to stand there and say, this is where you're heading. And so you may have to just be like the bow of the ship and just carve through those dissenters and then just allow everybody else. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just do it. This is how I do it. This is how I've always done it, is I just do it. And if you don't agree with that or like, that's fine. You know, that's not my problem. I don't offer it to people who don't seem like they're interested. If somebody's talking to me constantly about being ill and not well, I know that they are asking without asking, but I won't just give them energy. That's not what I will do. I will say to them, would you like an energy therapy? Or I'm quite happy to put my hands on you if you think it will help, and give them an opportunity to affirm or deny. That's not about permission. That's about me being a bitch and deciding that if you're going to diss what I do, I'm not going to make it freely available to you without you asking for it. Okay?
Yes.
Just so it's clear. Just so it's clear. I've had people sit there and be introduced to me and been told what I do, and then they've gone, I don't believe in that, but can you see colour around me? You know, it's a bit rude to go down the track. So I never feel a need to prove myself to them, and I always say something along the lines of, well, I would, but since you don't believe in it, I wouldn't want to waste my breath and your time. You know, so I can be quite bitchy. Just so it's clear. It's not about letting people walk over you, and it's not about letting people use you. And the ones that are kind of sneaky and asking you for favours, like reading and stuff, will always be the ones that snap back at you or are a bit mean, no matter how right you are. So I don't put myself out there for that. So I've experienced a lot of that in my life. You've got another person, he's just, positionally speaking, it seems important for you to know. So he's back to your left and he's about 5 or 6 feet behind you. He's quite distant. That means you're not using him just yet, or you only use him occasionally that he comes in. You have very intense, lonely moments, like really intense, lonely moments. He's the one that sort of steps in and tries to make you feel like you're not quite alone. He doesn't have any other purpose around you but that. He must connect on that level with you. There's a throat, and there's a throat, a solar plexus, and your sacral region engaged in that. In other words, when you get that feeling, it disables you. It means you can't speak about your feelings. It means you can't go out and don't want to socialise with people. You don't ask for help or speak to guides or anybody. In those moments, you sort of hunker down and try and withdraw your whole energy. And it can last, I think, anything up to a week or more. Is that right?
Yes.
It's a long time for feelings like that. You know what, I think everybody gets those feelings, but they last 10 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, which in a week is nothing. But when it lasts over a week, then you've got a situation that can become debilitating. And so you might want to practice the opening of energy, that opening and allowing people. And I'm not saying tell everybody your problems, but it's being scared of doing that when you're feeling that loneliness inside yourself. You're feeling very separate from everybody else. Okay? Yes. Okay, good girl. So you can open up and open up and open up and let me wheedle my little energy way in. So you'll never feel lonely again. So he's there for that. Now, you know what? He feels very, what's the word? I want to say European and Eastern, so East European. Put that wherever you like and put a stab on it, close your eyes and do like that on a mat, and you never know, you very often come up with a spot that just feels right. What you can do to encourage communication with these guides is you can sit there and go, actually, you know, I want to feel you. So you can think right now while we're talking, you think about Zen Man, okay, we'll call him Zen Man, and you can think about him and think, you know, I want to feel you, and something will happen. There'll be a sensation through your body. The same, the Arcturian at the back, you can do the same thing there. You can sit there like separate moments, you know, straight afterwards, and you go, okay, I felt you, now I want to feel you, and then I want to feel you, the one that's there for your loneliness. You really want to feel him, because once you've practiced that, you know which one's which. It's how you tell and define between them. But also the lonely man, when you go into that moment, as soon as you feel you're going there, you know before you get there that you're heading down that track. You'll start withdrawing from people. You'll start just saying nothing. You'll be, I'm fine, and disappear into your room or whatever it is you do.
Yes.
You'll dig your nose into that book, and you'll daydream, because you won't actually be reading the book, because that requires an outward focus. And that's when you want to sit and consciously go, you know, I just want to feel my lonely man. You know, I want to see what he feels like. I want to feel him up close and see how that changes this period of my life if I let that in, if I let him do what he's here to do for me and with me. Yeah?
Yes.
Can I ask you, do you know if there were twins in your family?
Yes, there are.
And were you one of a twin?
I don't believe so. I didn't know anything about that.
Okay, I'm just wondering if there may have been a womb loss.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah. It can happen sometimes at the very early stages. The reason I'm saying that is the information I'm getting about the loneliness, and I'm feeling him like this all down my left arm. I just want to go, ugh. You know that feeling, eh? It's like, oh, yeah, there's somebody here for sure. The feeling I'm getting around that is that there was that intense loneliness is a subtle or very deep awareness of somebody that was in there with you that was suddenly not, which is not anybody's fault, or we're not talking that anybody's kept a big secret. They might never have actually known that. Your mum might have thought she had a show at 2 months or 1 month, and then even thought it was a period, you know.
Yeah.
And then realised, oh, well, no, I've still got my baby, so we're all good. And then not realised she'd actually maybe lost a fetus.
You know what? She actually told me that she got a kidney infection and that she thought that she was going to lose me. So that starts to make me think that she might have lost something else.
Yeah, she may have. And very often, if it's really early on and it's misdiagnosed or diagnosed differently, then she may never have been actually told that or known that she had lost another little baby, you know, because at that point we're talking something very minor when it comes to a show. You know, we're not talking a major miscarriage at that point if it's very early. So very interesting stuff. If she got an infection too, it may have been that this was in there for a little while before it evicted, so it may have never had life. But anyway, that's where we go with that lonely feeling for you, which is very interesting.